And a good Thursday evening, softball fans. Welcome to Bill Edwards Stadium for tonight's home opener of the New York Rise. As we get set for the first pitch here on the All Women's Sports Network. Tom Berta here alongside Women's College World Series champ at Oklahoma, Nicole Mendez. And looking forward to a great one. Hard to get much more exciting than the home opener. This New York team looking for their first win of the season. And this one is popped out into shallow left field, and an early catch for the Rise to get the first out of this one. So we're going to take a look here at the lineups in just a moment. Alana Hopkins is in the circle for New York to begin this one.
Now batting, number 2, Lori McMillan.
Hey, she was eager to get started, especially after the rain delays that we had. I'm sure she was wanting to be there in a hurry.
Yeah, this game originally scheduled to start at 7 and pushed back an hour due to some rain in the area. We're hoping it holds up here for this one, but McMillan stepping up to the dish, a player with a lot of speed, a real threat at the top of this order, also brings some power as well, tied for the team lead with 7 homers this year. And that one is in there for a strike. Hopkins has pitched well so far against KC. Appeared 2 times against them, a little over 5 innings between the 2 appearances. Gets the start in this one and gets another pop-up. This one is out towards second base, and it is pulled in there by Corona.
That familiarity definitely helps her here. You're going to see her going in, attacking these hitters tight in on the hands, and then a lot of off speed, just trying to get them out in front, get their timing disrupted. You mentioned they have a lot of power, so whenever you have that much power as an offense, if as a pitcher, you've got to go with your strengths. And for her, luckily, that off speed is a big win in her column.
In steps Riley Blampede, spent last season here with New York, and takes that one just off the plate outside from Hopkins, so 1-0 is the count. Blampede having a nice season, hitting .373. And here, swing and a miss through this one. Real nice pitch there from Hopkins. Blampede 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 ribbies against the Rise so far this season.
Kind of feels like a little bit of a crime doing it against your former team, but again, there's that familiarity. It's not just one-sided for Rise with Kansas City knowing what their hitters have, but also these hitters, especially Blampede, very familiar with the Rise and this team.
Hopkins been keeping it with a steady diet of away, and this one will drop in despite the best efforts on the dive from Root. So, base knock for Blampede. Kind of looked like she might have got that one off the end of the bat, but still ends up getting her to second base.
And that's so important. You can see Blampede doesn't stutter too much. She's going, she's hustling hard. And like you said, it wasn't the hardest hit. That was a really good delivered pitch by Hopkins, but being able to go, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm going to hustle it out. She lands herself on second when the Rise should be out of this inning.
So now a big chance for Haley Kripe, the cleanup hitter. Takes the first pitch down and away. So far this season for Kripe, hitting .367. Former all-region selection during her time at Kansas. And here, smoked to the hot corner. You can see why they give it that nickname, but a really nice defensive play there from Knight. And that will take us to the end of the top of the first, stranding that runner on second.
And now, folks, it's not a Rise game if we're not celebrating.
This was just a well-struck ball, but defensively, Rise, I think they made the adjustment. They looked ready. They're able to get themselves out of the defense. We're going to score some runs here in the bottom of the first.
Chance for the Rise lineup. Back at Bill Edwards Stadium, and as promised, we'll get you those lineups. Here is the lineup for the Kansas City Diamonds, and again, a lot of power, some good speed as well in this lineup, and so a positive start for Hopkins that she was able to hold them down and keep it scoreless in that top of the first inning. And for New York, it'll be Talon Edwards leading things off. Edwards and Hasler have done a really nice job setting the table at the top of this New York lineup, and they'll be looking for more of the same here tonight as we see the first pitch from Hope Valdespino in there for a called strike. Valdespino leading the league right now in ERA, second in innings pitched, and she has been a star going back to her collegiate days and certainly one of the best right now in the league, and someone that New York will have to deal with tonight.
Well, these two definitely familiar with each other from college days. Oklahoma State. Edwards playing at Oklahoma State before she transferred over to Texas A&M to finish out her career.
This one is driven foul down that right field line, and I'm sure as someone who's been in that rivalry, right, I mean, that's got to be, those are the kind of games that you don't need any extra help getting up for.
Definitely not, and I'm sure that same excitement is here, especially for Edwards. This is a home opener for the Rise, so you have that energy behind it. You're excited to have that home crowd, and it's a good crowd here tonight, filled out even with the rain delay. So it tells you that not just her, but the crowd themselves, they're excited to see what's going on here.
This one is fouled back and out of play, so she is hanging in this at bat. On the season, Talon Edwards hitting .267. As I said, finished her career at Texas A&M after starting her career as a standout at Oklahoma State. Getting the start at shortstop tonight. And that one just misses down from Valdespino. So that'll bring the count here to 2-2.
One thing Edwards is very good about is being disciplined and sticking to her plan. You don't see too many balls down in the zone. So being able to hold off on that pitch, you're looking for something outside, up in the zone, and that is what you're chasing in that count.
They're driving this one out towards right field, but in the end it is a fairly routine catch for Root coming in to make the play. And so the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Amanda Hasler getting the start tonight behind the dish.
Now batting, catcher, number 3,
We're going to take a look at the Kansas City defensive alignment out there. So Rupin right again making that last play. Blampede at first. Aldridge getting the start behind the dish. And as we said, Valdespino in the circle. Off to a good start. And here fires that one in for a strike on the inner half. Valdespino really likes to go upstairs with that rise curve. Something to keep an eye on in this one, and had a really strong start against New York back on July the 2nd, going a complete game and allowing just 2 hits while striking out 7.
So what she does really well, and we'll probably see this as the game goes on, but she doesn't lose that speed as it continues. 68 miles an hour, that's not an easy speed to be able to time up, but it's even harder whenever that pitcher is consistently throwing there all throughout the game.
Keeps it again on the inner half and gets the strike, going upstairs a little bit there on Hasler.
You're going to see her just continue to pound that inside half of the zone. This early half, the timing, some of those swings are just a little late. So as a pitcher, you notice that right away. Take advantage before they get their timing. Try to disrupt.
Hasler here fights this one off. She had a really nice opening series against Kansas City, 4 for 9 with a home run and 3 RBI in that opening series. So she's hoping for a little bit more success here against Kansas City. This one out towards left field in foul territory, but an excellent play from Pylon, ranging all the way over to haul that one in foul ground.
Well, I didn't mention it, but Pylon, whenever we were showing the defense, she's somebody who stands out to me. She gives herself plenty of space over there in the shortstop, but her range, I mean, you just saw it, extends far beyond that. The way that she was able to track it down, and she knows, especially with turf, if she's going down, she's going to slide for a while. So being able to track that all the way down, that's a huge out for a big part in that Rise lineup.
Some good defense so far behind Val Despino as Courtney Day stepping in and takes a called strike on the outer half. Day, the right-hander out of Texas, played at Arkansas, where she was all region as a senior, hitting .329. This one on the outer half again, but misses, so evens the count back at 1-1. Day, the designated player in the Rise lineup this evening. Here sends this one out to shallow left, and it'll be Hastings coming in to make the grab. So a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. Good pitching from Val Despino. And we are scoreless after one here on the All Women's Sports Network.
At this time, we'd like to acknowledge all of our
Back here at Bill Edwards Stadium, Tom Verdi alongside Nicole Mendez, and we look at this KC lineup. A lot of power in it. 3 different players with 7 home runs apiece. So a team that really can do some damage, especially with the long ball. As the first pitch from Hopkins is upstairs to Presley Pylon, who just made that great play out at shortstop a moment ago. She has been hitting the ball well this season. Pylon hitting an even 517 for 34, coming in as a red-hot bat right now. And this one will not stay in play, fouled out down the left-hand side. Leads the league with 2 triples this season and tied for that league lead, hitting 500, as we mentioned, in her 40 plate appearances so far.
She's definitely gotten hotter recently, and sometimes as a hitter, it just takes a couple of games to get back into the rhythm, into the groove, and that's something that Kansas City, they have about 15 games underneath their belt already.
They've played a lot of ball this summer. They're going to continue to play a lot of ball, and Pylon staying with it, drives that one out to center. She's going to try to stretch it for 2, and in there safely on the head first slide. So Pylon stays hot, and a leadoff double has KC in good position to start this top of the second.
Just a great job by her. She's up in the box, so she's able to get to this ball before it drops off and tumbles down in the zone. So being able to get that barrel out in front before that drop, there's a lot of space in those gaps. So as soon as she sees it, she takes 2.
Good effort from Kramer, but not able to get Pylon. Some good speed in this KC lineup tonight. And now up comes Skaggs, another one of those players, as we mentioned, with 7 home runs on the season. Skaggs takes this one on the outside corner for a called strike. Right-handed bat, hitting .310 this season. Known as a power-hitting infielder is Skaggs at second base. Was a Rawlings Gold Glove winner during her time at Arizona and sends this one out to center. Maybe a tag situation here for Pylon, and she will tag and take third. So productive out from Skaggs, driving that one out to center.
And that's the power that KC Diamonds that they have. They're able to put the ball in play and deep into the outfield. If that's a shallow fly ball, you're not able to advance that runner. Pylon, good heads-up base running, knowing her speed, trusting herself to be able to get over to third.
A little more room out there in center field this year. Bill Edwards Stadium undergoing some renovations for the spring softball season here at Hofstra, and they pushed that center field back 20 feet, so a little bit of extra room out there for Kramer to make that catch.
20 feet might not feel like much, but as a former outfielder, I can attest 20 feet is a lot, especially whenever it expands, not just directly behind you, but kind of to the left and right as well. It's a lot more ground to cover, and we talked about it. A lot of gaps, space to cover as well.
First pitch was a ball, and now a meeting at the mound. Rachel Roop is up at the dish for KC, hitting .326 this season, a former Conference USA Player of the Year during her time at Liberty, when she hit .390 with 23 homers and 73 RBIs as a senior.
Roop definitely has a bat that you have to respect, and I think that's what this timeout is about, is just talking strategy and saying, okay, can we get her to chase and be out in front? We haven't seen as many off-speed pitches this inning that we saw back in the first from Hopkins. So I think that's the big factor, is how can we get her to chase and get her to start guessing whenever she's swinging? Because with the runner on third base and one out, if you're able to get an out before that runner gets to 60, you're in a really good position if you're the Rise.
Kind of shows you, to me, a great illustration of the pro game, right? Someone who was a Conference Player of the Year, and here hitting 7th in this KC lineup, which has a lot of talented bats.
Well, you mentioned Golden Glove. There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that's just on KC Diamonds. Talon Edwards herself, playing shortstop for Rise. She's a Golden Glove winner.
That one just missing, so a real hitter's count here, 2-0 for Roop, and getting someone that they want to be a little bit careful with. Infield playing a bit shaded in. And here a little flare out to left field, and with the infield a little bit in, there was no chance to get that one. So an RBI base knock for Roop, and KC grabs the 1-0 lead here in the second.
Age-old saying a flare will always work. Roop way out in front. We talked about the off-speed. This was a good pitch by Hopkins, but unfortunately it just lands in no man's land, especially with that left side of the field. They were punched in. They were expecting maybe a ground ball, little dribbler. So being able to wait on that just enough to get it through the infield. That is big, big, and they strike first.
So now we see Lauren Lucas Thornhill, the designated player, stepping up. Another left-handed bat. And if you take 8-9-1-2, 4 lefties in a row, kind of interesting the way they've got it stacked there.
Well, I'm a former lefty myself, so I makes my heart happy to see a lot of lefties in a row. A little biased, but I think we're kind of hard to throw to. Rumor has it.
Hopkins trying to nibble there on the corner and just misses away. So another hitter's count here, 2-0 for Lucas Thornhill out of Little Elm, Texas. And this one just misses down, so 3-0. She is fully in the driver's seat here. And see if she gets the green light or if she'll be taking all the way.
Well, to your point, you're on the bottom half of the lineup. This is where you want to attack as a pitcher. You don't want to be falling behind, because then you have to put that ball over the plate.
And here she got a little bit walk happy there, I think. Tried to maybe buy her way over to first, and now getting a quick explanation from the home plate umpire about where that one was in the zone, according to the ump. So 3-1 now is the count. And here this one fouled behind, so good job by Hopkins battling back here to a full count against the 8-hitter. Hastings on deck here.
Again, the importance of getting, right now you have 1 out if you're New York Rise, getting this 8-9 out before the lineup turns over. You want to eliminate the damage. 1 run, that's fine, but if you allow these hitters not just to get on base, but see you over and over again, that's where the Diamonds, they cause and create chaos.
And Hopkins missing just off the outside there, so a walk for Lauren Lucas Thornhill. And now 2 runners on, with Hastings coming up, starting left fielder in tonight's game. Hastings is really kind of a real double leadoff threat down there at the number 9. She's hitting .354 this season, a former 4-time All-Big East selection at UConn. And here she doesn't waste any time taking a bite at the first pitch there and just pulling it foul. And kind of interesting to see her go early when Hopkins had been falling behind a couple of the last few batters.
Yeah, and I think that also kind of has that tendency whenever you have an aggressive leadoff, and even though she's sitting in that 9 hole, a lot of times you'll see that 9 hole become the leadoff. As the game goes on, they'll be in that position to turn over the lineup to be aggressive.
And this one is on the outside black, so a nice pitch there from Hopkins, and she's now in the driver's seat 0-2.
I'm sure mindset-wise, if you're the Rise, you're anticipating something low in the ground, in the dirt, rolling it and getting to and getting out of this inning.
Misses off the plate away. But again, still some room to work with at 1-2 here. And Aldridge on deck, who flew out to left in her first time. At top of the order, as you said, would love to get that double play ball here.
Left side of the field, playing a couple steps back.
Again,
you don't want to get burned the way that they did before with that flare over third base.
Yeah, the infield was in, and that little flare out to shallow left barely made it onto that grass in left field, but hit them where they ain't. It kind of was for that big hit earlier from Roop. And now a meeting at the mound here as well, chatting things over.
Well, there's a few things that are certain in life. Death, taxes, and a flare will always work. That's what I've learned so far in this lifetime.
Maybe want to give Hopkins a little bit of a breather there, kind of turning into a longer inning than she had in the first.
Yeah, I think there was just some miscommunication on what pitch she wanted. And so as a catcher, you want to be sure that your pitcher is 100% committed, especially in a situation like this, where if you're confident and you're throwing a pitch, that gives me more confidence as a catcher behind the plate.
2-2, and it looked like she got Hastings a little bit out in front of that one into shallow right. It's a routine catch and no advancement of the runners, so a big out there for Hopkins, and that brings up again, as we said, the top of the order here with 2 on. Big chance for Aldridge.
It's a great job by Hopkins, just getting Hastings. We saw how aggressive she was from the very beginning of that at-bat, so knowing that she's going to chase with 2 strikes, she's going to be a little bit more aggressive. So just getting it right out of the reach, getting her to chase, an easy pop-up for her defense, and runners have to stay right where they are.
First pitch of the AB here to Aldridge, misses away, and not that often you see a catcher in that leadoff spot. Very athletic Aldridge. She's also got 3 steals on the year, 3 for 3. The 1-0 is a really nice off-speed pitch, got her way out in front, evens things up at 1 apiece.
Seen the traditional lineups kind of veer away from what it has been in the past, and you're seeing a lot of lineups have stacked, heavy offense at the top half of the lineup. So if you have power and you're able to get a double with your leadoff, that's what you go with. That's what you have whenever you have Edwards up at the top of that lineup, whenever you have Aldridge up at the top of that lineup. We're seeing that from both teams here tonight.
Yeah, that's become the new, I guess, analytical model, right? More at-bats for those top couple of spots in the lineup. So you want to get your best hitters, the best bats up there. And this one just off the plate away, so 3-1.
Into Caveman's words, it's power good.
Well, you and I were talking off air about kind of missing some of those small ball elements. They've kind of gone away from the game a little bit. And this one is in there for a strike, so a full count, 2 outs, so runners could be in motion here. Big chance for Aldridge with 2 ducks out there. Big pitch here for Hopkins, looking to limit the damage to just the 1 run here in the top of the second. The payoff pitch, driven out towards left center, and this one's going to get all the way out to the wall. See if they bring the second runner home. Here we have a play at the plate. Sliding in safely is Lucas Thornhill. So a 2-out, 2 RBI double from Aldridge to turn this into a 3-0 lead here for KC.
Well, we talked about lefties in the hitter, and you can see this ball as it's flying out into left field, left center. It's tailing away from center field, and that's that lefty swing. It's almost like an inside out. So whenever you have that ball as a runner, I think that's why you see the Diamonds being so aggressive on the base pass. They know that that ball is going to land in the gap. It's going and tailing away from the center fielder. So really, really good base running, but good piece of hitting there by Aldridge.
Yeah, looked like she's been seeing a lot of that outer half kind of action and just went with that right into left center. And some action now, it looks like, in the New York bullpen as McMillan stepping in for her second at-bat of the day. McMillan hitting .390 this season. Stole 9 bases, 7 home runs as well. Second in the league with 23 hits entering tonight. So she has really done it all at the top of the lineup here for KC. And here swings through that one. And the count evens up at 1-1. Looks like they've got a pinch runner out there for Aldridge. This one is just off the plate away from Hopkins. So 2-1 the count. McMillan looking focused, and here sends this one out to shallow center. Long run coming in, and not able to get there is Kramer. So another hit for KC, RBI hit, where just kind of put it where they ain't. Difficult, couldn't make that long run in, and sort of inside out of that one into shallow center for the Ribby.
First baseman, number
Hopkins
26,
utilizing the mix of speeds. This was, again, another well-executed pitch, but whenever you get behind in counts, your defense, they have to respect those hard hit balls. So I would rather, as an outfielder, have a ball drop in front of me than behind me, and you're seeing them defensively shift that way.
Back in steps Riley Blampede. Takes this one downstairs for ball 1. And yeah, a couple of, as we said, couple of these RBI knocks tonight. Probably the expected batting average maybe coming off the bat. Not exactly what you'd expect for some RBI hits, but that's working so far for KC. Finding little spots to dump them in. And of course that big rip earlier in the inning from Aldridge, a little bit different out there to left center. One and one pitch here to Blampede, and here she'll send this one out to center. Kramer settling under it and gets the final out of the inning, but KC doing some damage here in the top of the second with 4 runs. That's the score, 4-0 over the Rise here. Bottom of the second on deck on the All Women's Sports Network. back here on Long Island, Bill Edwards Stadium, and I'm not sure you can call it a sunset, but certainly some nice colors happening out there after some earlier rain. And New York looking it's trying. New York looking to get back on track here. Tom Verdi alongside Nicole Mendez, and leading off here for New York in the bottom of the second is Carly Spade in left field tonight, the right-hand batter. Val Despino had a 1-2-3 first inning, and here this one is driven out to right all the way back to the warning track, and Roop just able to haul it in a couple feet before what would have been a solo shot to lead this thing off. Good ride there from Spade, but just didn't quite have enough juice in the end.
Carly Spade, she has so much power in her swing, and that's obvious. She is so far out in front. She almost hits that at the front of the batter's box where that chalk line is, and she is still right there at the warning track. And that's the first time I think I've seen a Rise hitter so far this game be early. The thing that we've seen them struggle with is the timing and being late, getting that front foot down, being jammed on those inside half of those hands.
In steps Kramer, the left-hand hitter, out there in center field tonight. Looking to get things going for the Rise. And here drives this one out to right field. This one will get down towards the corner. Trying to stretch that for two, and she slides in safely. So first hit of the ball game is a rope from Reagan Kramer.
And that's where the adjustment comes in. Just saw it with Spade. Kramer again. This one is on the inside half. You can see how comfortable she was handling that 68-mile-an-hour pitch tight and on the hands. And I think that comes from the Rise as a team coming together before they go into this inning and saying, hey, we were late, we need to make that adjustment. I would rather us be out in front, early squibblers, easy fly balls, if that means we're out in front. And if we make contact, it's going to go far because she's going to provide all the power.
Madison Knight fouls this one back, 0-1. Knight, a two-way player so far. She has thrown some innings and also 5 at-bats at the dish so far this season. Was a pitcher, 71 starts over her 4 years at Syracuse. And here not able to catch that one, so quickly the count goes to 0-2 here for Val Despino.
A little bit of off speed there from Val Despino, known for her speed, especially curve rise. She's able to float that in. That's pretty deceptive.
Tried to go back upstairs, and they check on the swing. They're going to say Knight held it, so she stays in the at-bat here at 1-2.
Great sequence there, but if I'm Rise hitters, as good as that changeup was, until I see it consistently, I'm still sitting on the hard stuff, looking for that curveball specifically.
And this one just misses, so count back to 2-2. Good fight back here in the at-bat from Knight. Kramer out there at second after the double. This one is in the dirt, so that brings this to a full count here, 3-2.
Good stop behind the plate by Aldridge. Especially with the aggressive leads that Kramer's been getting. If that one got away, maybe 5 feet away from her, she would have gotten forward 60 feet.
This one is sent down the left side, and not enough room for any of the Diamonds to make a play on it. So this long at bat continues here for Knight. Another payoff pitch on the way. Kind of interesting for Val Despino, right? She gets warm and gets loose, has a quick 1-2-3 inning, and then she spends a lot of time kind of waiting for KC's big offensive inning at the top half of the inning, and now having to kind of find her way again here.
A few of them with 2 outs.
And here just misses inside off the plate with this one, so a nice walk work there by Knight, coming all the way back from an 0-2 count to earn the walk. And now 2 runners on for Camille Corona.
It's that bottom half of the lineup for the Diamonds that we felt the momentum really start to shift. Some quality at-bats. Rise, they find themselves in a similar position right now. Bottom half of the lineup, if they're able to come through clutch, we could see, if anything, at least a few runs come across the board and even out that 4-0 score we see.
Corona playing at second base tonight, has some flexibility in terms of where she could play out there. Another left-hand bat in this Rise lineup. This one fouled behind, 0-2. Now here to Corona.
Well, we were joking about the small ball. We almost got to see it in play, just a little late on those hands from Corona, but I like the idea. This defense, especially the corners for the Diamonds, they were playing back almost even with their bases. There was a lot of space and a lot of room.
Here's the pitch from Valdespino, and a good job again by Corona staying in on it and extending this at bat just as Knight did one batter ago. Corona spending her 5th year at UT Arlington after her first 4 years at Texas. Was an all-region and all-WAC defensive team honoree at UT Arlington. And here chases that Rise upstairs. And a strikeout, first of the game for Valdespino.
It's a nice sequence there by Valdespino. She was staying on that outer half, but the last 3 pitches, they've been slowly climbing that ladder. And as a hitter, whenever your eyes start to go up, it's really hard to keep them zoned in. You have to try any way you can, tilting that visor down, getting lower in your stance. Otherwise, you fall victim to really good rise balls like we just saw.
Rhodey gets the first pitch strike call against her. First baseman, former Gold Glove winner at South Carolina. 3-time academic all-district first-team selection. And here, this one just off the outside, so good eye there from Rhodey.
It's a really aggressive take. I think she's wanting something on that outer half. She just wanted to see it a little bit higher, but she's looking to drive something oppo. That's where we saw 2 hard hits earlier this inning.
And another really nice take. Trying to work the outside again, Valdespino, and again just missing. So 2-1 now, more of a hitter's count here for Rhodey. Valdespino coming back inside and really got her on the jam shot there, fouling it back.
It's hard as a hitter to not fall into the temptation of whenever you see something on the inside to go after and attack it. But this entire at bat, we've seen Rhodey searching for that curveball on the outer half. So if you try and set yourself up for that pitch, no way will you be on time. And I think that was a good job by the battery for the Diamonds to recognize that and go in tight on the hands.
Valdespino misses upstairs with this one. So again, a good job by Rhodey, seeing it well, not chasing that rise ball. Where do you think Valdespino's headed here?
I'm Valdespino. I'm going back in tight on the hands. You can still see Rhodey setting up for that outside half.
The payoff pitch and ends up in the dirt. So a nice walk worked by Rhodey. And now a chance for a big hit here for New York. Santos will step up to the dish with the bases loaded here and 2 outs.
In this situation, we talked about lineups, knowing what your role is right now. It's not to overswing, but it's just to get on base, to get something to the opposite side of the field, pull side for lefties. If you're able to score 1 run, just erase that deficit just a little bit. That's a win for the Rise, but you can see how locked in they have been so far this inning.
Santos getting the start in right tonight. 3-time All-Conference at Binghamton, finishing the top 10 there in program history and batting average. And here this one gets away from the catcher, a chance for the run on the wild pitch, and New York will get on the board. Great recognition by Kramer. You pointed it out earlier. She has been getting aggressive with some of those leads, and saw that ball squirt away and was able to get home.
This is one of those screwballs that just tails down and dies down. It looks like Aldridge, she just wasn't able to track it all the way into the glove. And a moment like that, no hesitation over there at third. And Rise, they have the first run.
Still a good chance with runners on second and third. A base knock could bring in 2 here for Santos. And this one a called strike on the outer half, so 1 and 2 the count here to Santos. Big at bat here for Valdespino. She does not want to let it get back to the top of the lineup, and here on the check swing, they check down at third, and a good job by Santos holding her swing there.
One thing I haven't seen as much from Valdespino is that curveball. We're expecting to see it, but if you look at the way the defense has shifted, especially the outfield, they're shaded over towards that left center. Even right field is shaded over towards right center.
Comes back inside, gets a cue shot off the inside of the bat, and this one is pulled down by Kripe near third base. So Valdespino allows the 1 run, but gets out of the jam here. It's 4-1 KC after 2. And we are back here at Bill Edwards Stadium. A new pitcher on the mound for New York, and that is Sona Halligan. And Halligan, a two-way player from her time at Cal Berkeley, coming in to replace Hopkins, whose line finishes after 2 innings and allowing the 4 runs here against KC. And New York kind of going to that developmental list to pull some pitchers here and looking to find some talent, and hoping they have a nice find here with Halligan.
Definitely wanting to be able to mix things up. We saw a little bit of confusion with the strike zone, struggling to get ahead in the count. And whenever you have a team, we talked about this, as offensively powerful as the Kansas City Diamonds, you're going to have to get ahead in counts.
Yeah. And we talked about it too, right? Limiting the amount of times that the batters are seeing the pitcher right in the same game, allowing them to get those powerful bats a better chance. So New York mixing it up and going with a different look here with Halligan, and we've seen that from them in quite a few games this season, using a lot of different arms this year so far.
Yeah, and I think it's a good strategy. It's a good idea. Whenever you look at what we've seen so far, they've gone through the lineup 1.5 times. Yeah. So typically after that, the edge hitters, they start to make their adjustments. They get their second leg, second at-bats. You don't want to give them that opportunity. Give them a new look, especially whenever Rise, they have that pitching depth.
California native, finished her career at UCF after spending time at Cal. And first pitch is in there for a strike. as Kripe leading off this inning here for KC. Lined out to third base, and really that was smoked, maybe the hardest hit ball that we've seen all night. And it came off the bat of Kripe earlier, but again ended in and out with that line out to third. But she was seeing it well in her first at bat. Count 1-1 here. And this one misses up and away, so count moves to 2-1. And for New York, unfortunate, right? They couldn't get that key hit last inning. Could have maybe turned this into a 4-3 game quickly with runners on second and third, but Valdespino able to wiggle her way out of it. So this one again off the plate from Halligan.
Not seeing Kripe look like she's wanting to offer at any of these. They haven't been as tight to the zone as maybe that you would like if you're Halligan. So falling behind 3-1, that is what got them into trouble last inning.
And here, this one misses off the plate again, so a leadoff walk here for Kripe, and I don't think she'll mind that too much because, again, they do have some big bats behind her. Pylon hitting it really well, Skaggs with some power, so you got Kripe setting the table for some of those big bats behind her.
Well, we talked about just the offensive explosion, the surge that we've seen from Pylon, and she's in that 5-hole. It's a great position to have her in because whenever you have hitters in the 3-4, they kind of pitch around. You don't want to get to the 5-hole hitter and face somebody who's hitting 500.
Yeah. This one is in there for a called strike. Pylon, as we mentioned earlier, came into this game hitting an even 500, 17 for 34, and had a double and a run scored back in the second inning. Here drives this one out to center. She really hit that one right on the screws over the center fielder's head. And they're going to hold the runner at third. So second and third, not a bad way to start this inning for KC.
Kramer playing in just a little shallow, especially with this hitter that is so powerful. She hit over the head of Kramer. Her last at-bat does the same thing here. And you see, again, that lefty tail at the very end. So reminding yourself that ball is hit hard, but she does a good job of picking it up off the fence, being able to get it in before that run scores.
So in steps Allie Skaggs. Had a sacrifice out to center field back in the second, moving the runner up. And here a nice pitch from Halligan on the outside corner. Gets ahead here 0-1. Skaggs hitting .310 so far this season. 57 career home runs at Arizona, so she certainly has the power to go deep and sends this one out of play down the right-hand side.
Do like this response from Halligan, though. Giving up that hit, huge double, and immediately comes right back, and she had kind of been struggling with that strike zone. 0-2 right away.
So she's gotten ahead here of Skaggs. The pitch up and away, tried to get her to chase, but Skaggs not biting there. Roop is on deck. She had an RBI single back in the second. This one fouled back off the netting once again. So Skaggs staying in this at-bat. A couple of fouls here. And now hoping to see a mistake from Halligan. The 1-2 on the way. And a good pitch. Got her on the swing and miss. So one down on the strikeout there of Skaggs.
Great sequence there by Halligan. She got ahead early, and then she just started to throw the ball up in the zone, tight in on the hands. Whenever you get that, again, we talked about the hitter's eye being built up. Whenever you go down low in the strike zone, it makes it feel so far and stretched away.
First pitch is in there on the outside corner, and it was a great shot from our crew there. The game within the game, right? You see Skaggs telling one of the hitters that's about to come up what she saw up there, try to give her the little quick scattering report and get them prepared to face Halogen for the first time tonight. This one misses outside the zone, so 1-1 now is the count with 1 out here in the third.
I think if you start to see something different from a pitcher, especially one who's now in the game, haven't been as familiar with her, yeah, I want to share and relay that information so we don't need 5-6 hitters coming up.
This one is out to shallow right, and no chance for the runner to tag up because that was not deep enough. So Santos able to make the catch and bring it to 2 outs here with the DP, Lauren Lucas Thornhill, stepping up.
And again, I just think the biggest difference is how Halogen has been attacking these hitters. Getting ahead, getting that first strike. You've seen her confidence and the way that she's able to build off of that. Hitters for Diamonds just expanding their zone and it being more defensive rather than attacking, which we saw last inning.
Another good pitch, catches the corner. Lucas Thornhill got on and scored a run back in the second. Chance to drive in a couple here. She's got 2 out there in scoring position. This one driven out to shortstop, and a tough play for Edwards, not able to corral it, and that's going to bring in 2 runs. So unfortunate for New York. Looked like a chance to get out of the inning, and instead KC will expand their lead here to 6-1.
Yeah, Edwards, she just waits back 1 step. At the last minute, you see that left foot take half a step back. You want to be attacking, and there's a runner coming across. If you make contact with them at all, that's an automatic out as well. So if you're Edwards, instead of waiting, you want to be going and getting that ball.
Leave yourself susceptible to that kind of in-between hop there, right? You'd rather be coming in, as you said, and charging it down.
And the hops on this infield, they've played pretty true. I don't feel like we've seen anything skirt one way or another, so you know what you're getting as a defender. But it has been this bottom half of the lineup that has been just moving and grooving.
This one driven out just past the diving Edwards again and into left field, so this bottom of the lineup, as you said, continuing to do some damage, and now gets it back to Aldridge at the top with 2 runners on.
You can see how far shifted over Edwards was. She was expecting something in that same spot, same location. Just ends up in that 5-6 hole. She's not able to get over in time.
Aldridge with a 2 RBI double in that second inning. Really was kind of the big hit of that inning. And now has another chance with some runners on to do some more damage here. And here this one is just away here. Here comes the 1-0. And that one is in there for a strike on the outside.
Halogen trying to do her job and just get herself back into a position where her defense can make plays. Last 3 swings, I feel like she's done a good job managing that.
This one is out over to Edwards. She goes the short way out to second. But another productive inning for KC. 2 more on the board, and they lead it 6-1 here with the bottom of the third up next here on the All Women's Sports Network. Talon Edwards leading off here in the bottom of the third. Tom Verta here alongside Nicole Mendez. 6-1 lead for KC after those two more in the top half, but some nice adjustments it seemed like from the Rise lineup. After a 1-2-3 first inning, they really battled and made it difficult for Valdespino getting the run across and had a chance for a couple more in that bottom half of the second.
All comes down to communication and how quickly can you buy into those adjustments. It's a good hold by Edwards over there at first. One thing just right off the bat, from her first at bat to her second, whenever she gets into her stance, she is low. I believe Rise as a team coming together, they've chased after the Rise ball a couple of times. Whenever your body's that low, whenever your chest is that low, you don't want to swing for that one or get hit.
Yeah, we saw Valdespino try to attack inside a little bit more, I felt like, in that second, and this time she misses inside and ends up catching Edwards off the arm. So a leadoff hit by pitch for Edwards, and she'll take the base any way she can, which brings up Hassler, who had that ball chased down by Pylon at shortstop back in the first inning. As we said, Edwards and Hassler have done a really nice job at the top of this lineup, working to set the table this season. Hassler hitting .294. Had a nice opening series against KC, going 4 for 9. Again here 0 for 1 tonight. And in the 0-1 hole after the strike from Valdespino. This one misses away, so back to 1-1 here.
Whenever Hassler gets in the box, notice her back foot. It is not only all the way back, but all the way as close as she can to the plate. She's towing that line, really setting herself up for that curveball.
This one is fouled behind, so a 1-2 count. And how does that play with the Rise ball when she's so far in the back of the box there?
Again, it goes to positioning. If your chest is more upright whenever you're hitting, you're going to allow yourself to go after those pitches that are higher in the zone, if that's what you're hunting. But if you're hunched over a little bit more, we saw that with Edwards, and whenever just that front foot lands, you just saw it there from Hassler, whenever that front foot of hers lands, her chest is in that downward position. She's looking down and away. She's setting up her timing for down and away.
This count stays at 1-2 after the foul away there from Hassler. Courtney Day on deck, tonight's designated player for New York. Here's the pitch from Valdespino, and again, this one is wasted away by Hassler. So definitely making Valdespino work a lot more in these last two innings than they did in the first with that quick 1-2-3 put down for Valdespino.
Again, good communication allows you to make those adjustments, and if you do have an extended at-bat, you're allowing not just yourself but your teammates to see what this pitcher has as well.
And here, Valdespino again misses inside, and she catches Hassler near the knee, it looked like. So unfortunate that the old leg guard didn't give her any protection against that one, but two hit batsmen, and it'll now be runners on first and second here for New York with their three-hitter Courtney Day stepping up.
Yeah, that screwball just gets away from Valdespino and gets her on that back thigh right above the knee, like you said, very close. You can see a little bit of pain there from Hassler. That is not a fun place. Looks like it's stuck to it just a little bit. So whenever you get hit in that position, it's just, okay, grit your teeth, get on down to first.
And now another meeting at the mound, and they want to talk things over with Valdespino. Probably not what she was hoping for, obviously, hitting the first two batters of the inning and maybe just trying to get her to kind of refocus after she's had a pretty good start to the game so far.
Yeah, if I'm her, I'm coming in, I'm saying, you know what, I actually like it. It's just too far inside. Both of the hit by pitches have been on that inner half. If you're looking as a pitcher, you want to be able to find that location. And right now her eyes are just training herself to go too far inside over that chalk line, especially with the way these hitters, they're leaning over the plate. You're going to need to bring that over just a little bit more.
Yeah, she's got the rise. She's been working the outside half. We've seen her now trying to work the inside half too, so really making her unpredictable for these rise hitters. But a good chance here again for New York with the 3 and 4 hitters coming up. Runners on first and second, nobody out, and a chance to try to get back into this ball game here. First pitch swinging is sent out towards right field, and we'll see if the runner can tag up. They opt not to, so Root makes the catch, and the runners stay at first and second with Carly Spade coming up here for the Rise.
It was a great part of the lineup to have runners on base for. A lot of power, a lot of swings. And they did a good job of, I feel like these were the first hitters that found their timing and found their rhythm off of Valdespino.
This one is upstairs from Valdespino, so a good job by Spade to watch it. She flew out to right in her first at-bat. Are you surprised they went after the first pitch after the 2 hit bats? Kind of, you know, or just if you see your pitch, you got to go for it?
I think if you're sitting a pitch and you see it, go for it.
Here, this time, Spade chases low and away.
Great adjustment by Valdespino. It's that curveball that she knows that Spade is looking for, so she tunnels that changeup, that off speed, to look like that curveball. It drifts down, but then also has that side east to west movement.
Definitely fooled Spade there with the movement. Here's the 1-1, and gets the called strike on the inner half, so Spade just checking with the umpire there about the location of that called strike, but now she's got to protect here with 2 strikes. And here again, she goes to that pitch low and away and gets Spade swinging, so good job by Valdespino, who again with 2 runners on and the 3 and 4 hitters up is now just 1 out away from getting out of this early game.
In the toughest part of the lineup as well, and behind the plate, that was a good job keeping that ball in front of her from Aldridge. If you have less than 2 outs and a runner occupying first base, even if the ball is dropped, that is an automatic out on the batter. So runners can advance, it is a live ball, but the batter is out. So sometimes a catcher, whenever that ball gets down on the ground, they could be tempted to throw. They could be looking somewhere else, just knowing right away, I don't have to throw down to first.
First pitch misses here to Kramer, who had a double back in the 2nd inning. Scored the only run so far for the Rise. And here Kramer gets ahead again. 2-0 and a good hitter's count here. Madison Knight is on deck, but see if they get to her. 2 outs. Skaggs and now Kreit both having a quick chat here with Valdespino as we've got a meeting here with, looks like we're going to have a runner here at first. So the Rise hoping that if they do get a ball in play towards the alleys that they're going to be able to bring 2 around. So Hasler being run for here. And it looks like it is Spade who will be running for her. And here this one misses again from Valdespino, so 3-0 to Kramer.
Well, both runners that are on right now, it has been from free passes. 2 hit by pitches, right now a 3-0. If you're Rise, you don't get these opportunities too often. Take full advantage.
And this one is in there for a called strike, so 3-1 is the count. Looked like Kramer was taking there anyway. See if Valdespino stays away or maybe tries to come back inside. And this one catches the outside black, so good job by Valdespino battling back. Full count here with 2 away.
See Valdespino, just a quick shake off. We saw it earlier in the game. Quick timeout from Hasler for the Rise. Now we're seeing it here for the Diamonds. If you as a pitcher, you know what pitch you want to go with. You want to be confident with what you're throwing. That's going to win any time over the hitter.
And here on the check swing, they check down at third, and it is strike 3. Kramer could not hold the swing, so whatever Valdespino wanted there, she dialed it up to get the strikeout and get herself out of the inning. 6-1 the lead for KC after 3 here at Bill Edwards Stadium. Back here on a beautiful evening here in Hempstead. Tom Birdie alongside Nicole Mendez. KC the 6-1 lead here in the top of the 4th at Bill Edwards Stadium. Corey McMillan stepping up to lead off the inning. Halligan getting ahead with the first strike of the AB. And here McMillan drives this one out to left. And on the way in, Spade makes the running grab. So the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Riley Blampede.
Good location placement there by Halligan. She knows that this offense, they have those big bats, haven't been able to snuff them down too much. So it's more so, can you get them to miss hit? And right there, McMillan, her barrel just a little bit too far behind that ball. Wasn't able to get enough power to really send it over.
This one misses upstairs on Blampede, who will start ahead 1-0 here. So far tonight, Blampede a double back in the first before a fly out in the second.
That double really came off of a fly ball that I expected Corona over at second base to be able to catch, but it was Santos in right field that was the one that ended up diving for it. It's good hustle by her being able to leg it out to second, and obviously no one touched it, was ruled a hit, but 2 fly balls, she's been out in front, so I wouldn't be surprised for her if her strategy is to have later timing.
And a good hitter's count here. And takes downstairs for ball 3. Blampede, of course, with some of that professional experience already. Hitting .373 this year. After a standout career at South Carolina.
I feel like the Gamecocks are everywhere on both sides, on both teams here tonight. I think one of the best things about pro softball is whenever you go to that next level, you play with people that you played against, that you looked up to, and then a couple years down the road, the same thing happens.
This one is sent out down the right-hand side and misses foul, so couldn't quite stay fair for Blampede, looking for the long ball there. And, you know, we kind of touched on it a little bit before, but feels like a small community, right? Everybody knows somebody, or you played against somebody, or you played with somebody. There's a lot of connections, I'm sure, up and down both of these rosters, and I know you have some connections to some of these players as well.
Yeah, the old, we've never met, but we've played against each other for 8 years.
This one is fouled, I guess, off the foot of Blampede. She stayed exactly where she was standing there in the box, was pretty confident, and even some of the Rise players maybe trying to sell that one as a chance to throw her out at first, but
yeah, just ricochets off that front foot. A little bit of a stutter step there. Not a fun place to get hit.
3 and 2 is driven out to the right center gap, and that one is way out of here. There is the power of Riley Blampede, and we're seeing it up close with a bomb to right center, and KC's 7th run of the ball game.
It's a beautiful swing on that ball by Blampede. We were just talking about it. She was early, her first 2 at-bats, out in front, so the adjustment, get deeper, wider into my legs, and allow that ball to get closer to me. She knows they're going to go outside and try to get them again. It's a great adjustment and being able to stay all the way through.
She was one of 3 KC players with 7 home runs this season. Well, make it number 8 on the long ball from Blampede, which now brings Haley Kripe up to the dish. And a first pitch in there for a called strike from Halogen. Kripe hitting .367 this year. She's got 4 homers for this KC team. And here we'll even up the count at 1-1. Presley Pylon is on deck. She's got a pair of doubles in this one, and so feels like an important out to get here. You don't want Pylon coming up with any runners on base with the way she's been swinging the bat. Grounder over to second. Nice play from Corona to get the out at first.
Don't you just love it whenever they listen to what you say? No, I think this is what the Rise has been desperately missing, is executing on the plays that come their way, being able to make these routine plays. It's been a mistake here or there that allow runners to get on base, and then one big swing, one big hit, and that's where most of these runs have scored from. Blampy, obviously, with her home run, but other than that, I think that big double back in the second inning by Aldridge, but other than that, it's just been errors that have led to free passes with base runners getting on, and then from there, just timely hitting.
You had a chance to get out of an inning, and instead 2 runs came in back in the third, and a couple plays like that could have kept this game a little bit tighter, but as it stands, 6-run lead here for KC, and again, Pylon has been the player that the Rise have yet to figure out with the 2 doubles so far and 2 runs scored. The 1-1. And misses away. They're being careful, it seems like, with the way that they are attacking Pylon here.
Yeah, this is a hitter where I am not giving her anything on the plate. I am dotting around the zone. And if she chooses to go after it, great. But if not, I know I can attack that next batter, but I'm not giving her anything. 1
hopper out to short. Edwards the toss on to first, and that will end the inning. So the damage was limited to the solo shot for KC. And after 3.5 innings so far, 7-1 the lead here for KC. maybe I'm a little biased, greatest city in the world in my opinion, but I'm sure, you know, it's nice for these players, some of these visiting teams as well coming in. You get to see some of the sights and play, of course, at this beautiful stadium here on the campus of Hofstra University. 7-1 the lead right now for KC. Tom Verdi alongside Nicole Mendez. And Nicole, the last 2 innings now, this Rise team has gotten a lot of traffic on the base paths, but still just seem to be maybe missing that one big clutch hit at the right time.
2 runners left on base the last 2 innings, and there was potential there. Both of those runners came before there were 2 outs. So being able to find that timely hit that we were talking, Kansas City, they've been able to get 2 of those across, and they've come across in big moments, and I think that's also where momentum builds. But the consistency that we have seen Kansas City Diamonds score, if you're Rise, you need to find a way to not just get 1, but maybe 2 or 3 across the board here later on in this bottom of the 4th.
Madison Knight leading it off. And again, it was this bottom half of the Rise lineup that really kind of got the offense going today in that bottom of the 2nd. It was a quiet start to the game in the first with a 1-2-3 inning, and then the bottom half of the order kind of getting things going against Val Despino. So now they get their second chance against her here in the 4th. 2-1 count here for Knight. And takes that one well. So 3-1, she is in the driver's seat here leading off in this bottom of the 4th.
Really good hold. We haven't seen too many Rise hitters be able to lay off that changeup. Whenever Val Despino mixes it again, especially with her velocity sitting at 68, that changeup comes in floating in at 57, 56 miles an hour.
And this time goes back upstairs and gets the swing and miss, so full count on the way here. And looked like perhaps Knight a little bit frustrated in herself that she wasn't able to hold up there on the Rise. Here's the payoff pitch. Comes inside, and she really connected well with that one, but drove it foul down the left field line. That one went a long way, though, for Knight.
It's a really nice job by Knight, just getting her hands to the ball so quickly, very rapidly. But on this next one, I wouldn't expect to see that pitch again. If I'm her, I'm maybe anticipating something up in the zone. That's where she's chased after this inning.
See if she goes back upstairs, and good job by Knight to foul that one off and stay in the at-bat here. 71 starts over her 4 years at Syracuse, earning all ACC honors, and at Patterson Mill High School was a 2-time State Player of the Year and a Max Preps High School All-America pick. This one is fouled back behind, and it will not stay in play.
Almost landed inside our booth there. If I had reached out, do you think I could have caught it?
I was going to say, I'm going to leave it to you if a ball comes our way.
The bigger question, if I had reached out and fallen out of the window, would you have caught me? It's a good 6-foot drop, 5-foot drop right there. Know my limits, I guess.
Got a great vantage point here behind the plate, and here a walk is worked by Knight, so good way to start here with a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Corona 0 for 1 so far on the day.
Really good pitch there of Val Despino, but I think with the battle from Knight, just being able to go that deep in the count, see that many pitches, as tempting as that off-speed is, she has been able to lay off it very well that at bat.
So Corona, who struck out her first time, or check that, Halogen is now in the lineup here. And she is another one of these two-way players. Hit .329 at UCF in her lone season there, and as well as throwing 28 innings in the circle. So she has been a hitter as well as a pitcher at both of her stops, UCF and Cal, and now we get a chance to see her swinging from the right side here.
Well, something with that, with these rosters, whenever you're able to have these utility pitchers, you have that flexibility. If someone's not going, you can put your pitcher in to the lineup, slot them in, see if that adjustment can be made without much harm or damage being done. You can always re-add the other hitters.
She's had a couple of at-bats so far this season, 0 for 1, but also has a walk and a run scored. One and one pitch on the way here from Valdespino. And comes back inside and gets that call on the inner half.
This infield for Diamonds playing pretty deep. So if Valdespino's wanting to, or Halligan's wanting to get it through that infield, she's gonna have to make contact with it. She chases after that rise. And Valdespino, she gets K.
So another strikeout for Valdespino. That is number 4 in the game so far for her. And again, the first meeting for the Rise against the Diamonds this season, it was a complete game effort from Valdespino, where she struck out 7 and allowed just the 1 earned run. So that was back on July the 2nd. Comes back inside again with the first pitch here to Rhodey and gets her to foul it back.
Rhodey looking ready for that inside pitch. Whenever you see a hitter foul a ball and it goes straight back, they just miss. That one is just an angle thing. It's not a timing, just underneath that ball.
Runner on second is Knight after that leadoff walk, 1 away here. And this one is in the dirt, and you can see the sign from Rhodey telling her that one did not get away from the catcher, so telling Knight to hold on there at first. This one is hit out to left field and deep. This one might go all the way back to the wall, and it is out of here for Ariana Rhodey. A 2-run shot to left. And just like that, the Rise are back in this one.
And the Rise put 2 on.
We had just talked about that first swing from Rhodey, how aggressive she was. She looked for that inside pitch. She gets it. Again, this one not as tight on the corner and elevated, not high, but just slightly. She's able to send that. And look at this fan just running for their lives, trying not to get hit. That one was hit right in the middle of them.
That's the risk when you're sitting out there behind the left field wall, right? You have to expect there's a chance a ball might find you out there.
I mean, they even have the clear fence. They're able to see it coming, so.
So Rhodey with her first homer of the season. And as Nicole told you, she was right on that inside pitch, and the second time she saw it, drove it over the left field fence, as this one is fouled down the left-hand side from Santos. Count goes to 0-1, and again, a nice timely hit with a runner on base, so
it's the first time we've really felt that with the Rise, is you have those runners on base, you get that big hit. Doesn't have to be a home run, but they're sure glad it was.
Now a chance for Santos to act as that leadoff here in the 9-hole, looking to get another rally going here and bring up the top of the order if she can get on base here. One and one count here to Santos. This one is sent to shallow center and will be snared there by McMillan. So 2 away with Talon Edwards coming up here, top of the order for the Rise.
Number 44, Talon Edwards.
If you're Rise, you don't want to be satisfied with just 2 runs. You want to find a way to get more base runners on, and what better way than with your leadoff. Again, Edwards, that chest leaning over, looking for something lower in the zone.
Edwards was hit by pitch in her last at bat. Flew out to center back in the first, so again 0 for 1 with the hit by pitch to her name so far. Takes the first one for a ball. 1-0 coming up here for Valdespino. And here this one is sent back behind the dish again and maybe landed on the roof of the press box here. Kind of sounded that way.
Felt that way. battled it pretty good, but we're starting to see some really good swings here by these Rise hitters. Just underneath it, has that high fly pop-up, but if she's able to get on top.
Here, this one is sent out to the left side. We'll see if there's enough room. There is not, so she stays alive. 1-2 is the count. You know, one thing I'm noticing, Valdespino going to that rosin a lot in the circle, and I wonder if maybe the conditions, the humidity, some of that wetness from earlier today a factor at all for her, or maybe just kind of one of the routines that she does when she's out there.
It's one of her routines, but if anything, it's pretty wet outside. It feels not humid, but it just feels wet, and so you want your hands to be dry so you can really spin it.
And here, this one is sent out to left center, and she'll hold for one, but a good job by Edwards trying to set the table here at the top of the order with a 2-out base knock.
And there's the adjustment that she was looking for. Had that high fly ball right behind. We talked about if she's able to get her hands on top, she's going to see something hit hard through. And this is a line drive that's just ripped over the head of the shortstop pylon into that left center gap.
So good hitting from Edwards, and that'll bring up the catcher Hassler, who is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch as well. And looks like we might have a pitching change coming up here for KC. So again, not something we saw with Valdespino's last outing against New York, where she went the complete game and really pitched well. And so instead it looks like we're going to have a pitching change and a chance for New York to have to adjust to a new pitcher out there, just as it seemed like maybe they were finally figuring out Valdespino a bit.
Well, that's the beauty of having pitching depth if you're Kansas City Diamonds, is being able to go to more than one arm. I think Valdespino did a great job just being able to manage this game so far, keep these Rise hitters off balance. And you can see it by the way that they've been swinging. They have the power. They're able to hit the ball hard, but once they make those adjustments and they find those timely hitting, that's when you start to see that momentum shift in towards their dugout. In 7-3, you're still up by several runs, but that quickly can change, especially whenever momentum's on your side.
As we said, Valdespino came in leading the league in ERA, 2.68 coming into tonight with a 4-1 record in her 34 innings pitched. And now we're going to see Casey Ricard, the former standout at Boston University, come in here in relief. And Ricard, a 3-time Patriot League Pitcher of the Year, threw a ton of innings, 933 strikeouts to her credit, really had a bit of a rubber arm for them, someone they could really count on. 4-time All-Region first-team selection as well, Ricard, in her time at BU.
I like them going to her, especially after seeing Valdespino for majority of the game. You have that pitcher that throws rise balls. She throws in the upper 60s, almost hit 70. With Ricard, you're going to see her a little bit lower in speed-wise, mid to low 60s in the zone. She likes to stay low. Her main pitch is her drop ball. She can go to a curve, but a lot of times you're going to see her get her outs with easy ground balls to her defense.
And a nice crowd, as you mentioned, here on hand, and a lot of those, some youth organizations. Always great to see them here, including Empire State Huskies, Lady Nightmares, Bethpage 10U Travel, Long Island Elite, Lynbrook Knights, and Lynbrook East Rockaway Little League. All the way from New Jersey, the Fair Lawn, New Jersey softball organization, and the Empire Softball Organization as well, who bought over 200 tickets to tonight. And so again, great to see so many youth players and coaches here taking in the pro game.
I think one of the best things about it too is whenever you look at the upper East Coast and where these softball teams are set up, you don't really see professional softball in this area, and there's only a few college pro teams that are able to compete and have these opportunities. And I think Hofstra, this is where the Rise call themselves home. They have a great facility that is able to accommodate a lot of fans, and the renovations that they've done recently with a new dirt infield and turf outfield. And as you mentioned, 20 extra feet, which hasn't stopped a couple of these hitters tonight.
2-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. A nice season for Hofstra on the diamond here at the renovated Bill Edwards Stadium this year, winning the North Division in the regular season and having a run all the way to the CAA championship game under first-year head coach Susan Cassidy-Like. Good chance here for Hassler, looking to keep the inning going, and for the second straight at bat, she is hit by the pitch. This one looked like it maybe caught her in a sensitive spot there on the hand. We'll have to take another look at the replay, but back-to-back at bats where Hassler finds herself on first after taking a hit by pitch.
Yeah, it's a tough day to be Hassler. Hand lands right in on those knuckles. Those fingers wrapped around the bat, and they're going to have a pinch runner for her. Give her a second to really regain feeling back in those hands. But back-to-back hit by pitches, not your favorite, but also if you're Hassler, you're going right on. Now we have 2 runners on base. And again, they're putting themselves in positions where they have the momentum. They're able to get those runners on base. They just need those timely hits.
Don't the catchers get hit enough behind the plate, right? I mean, I don't think
they
she's
need more.
I don't think she's expecting to get hit on the other side as well, but here she is. Looked like she had a good laugh about it in the dugout. And as you mentioned now, another really good chance for New York with 2 runners on, and just need a clutch, timely hit here. Could find themselves making this a 7-5 game. Courtney Day back at the dish, hitting in the 3-hole today, 0 for 2. And this one just misses off the plate, so evens the count up at 1-1.
She's had 2 fly balls a little early. She's going to have to reset herself extra, especially with what she's facing down in the zone. Complete opposite all game long. That one goes up in the zone.
Yeah, just as you say
I jinxed her.
Just as you say it, a good job coming up and attacking up in the zone there from Ricard, and gets herself in an advantageous count here at 1-2. 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Day, and this time up and in. Day will take it for ball 2.
That's the second pitch that we've seen that have gotten really tight, almost close to those hands. Last one hit Hassler in the hand, hit by pitch. This one just kind of backs up Day off her plate.
Again, she stays inside with it, and she gets the jam shot up in the air, and behind the plate, the nice catch by Aldridge to end the inning. So New York gets a couple on the home run from Rhodey to make it 7-3. Top of the 5th on the way up next here from Bill Edwards Stadium. Allie Skaggs leading off here in the top of the 5th. So far, Skaggs flew out to center on the sacrifice back in the 2nd and struck out swinging in the 3rd. And
Halogen forgot the most important piece. How's she going to know what pitches are calling?
Yeah, maybe took it off when she was up at the plate, right? And then forgot to put it back on before heading out to the circle.
Hey, as long as it was before the first pitch, right?
This one is fouled off towards third, so starting off with a first pitch strike here against Skaggs. And I think Halogen's done a nice job coming in to replace Hopkins. And as we said, a couple of defensive plays here or there maybe, and she'd probably have even less damage against her so far, but I thought she's pitched well so far. And here, this one up and away to Skaggs, 1-1 the count.
What's been most impressive is how she's handled that adversity, where it's been those ground balls. It's easy as a pitcher to almost feel like, okay, I have to get this done. But instead, she has just continued to throw her same pitches. She's been effective. She's put the balls in positions for her defense. They've missed a few, but with that consistency, that's how they've been able to get out of innings as well.
2-1 here on the way to Skaggs. Fouls this one down towards the KC dugout to our left.
One of the biggest things is she's done a much better job of attacking first pitch strike. Second pitch is a strike. She has been going at these hitters and causing the KC Diamonds to be defensive with their swings instead of being attacking. And whenever they get the attack mode, that's what we saw back in the second. They score quickly.
Checks for the pitch call here. And the 2-2 on the way. Sent out towards right field. It's a long run, and on the slide, just not quite able to come up with it there, was Santos.
Looked like Santos wasn't sure if she was going to have enough room to make that catch, so she decides to go off of her feet, goes for the feet first slide, so just in case she's able to have some cushion into that padded wall. It was a good effort trying to track that down, though. She ran a long way to get there.
It was a long run. And now another chance here for Skaggs. Another 2-2 on the way from Halogen. This one is hit hard at the second baseman and gets through into right. So Skaggs ending up at first on the hot shot over towards Corona.
It's a hard hit ball, but Corona just at last minute going down to the knee instead of taking a half step forward. We're seeing these middles just wait a little bit too long. If you're able to make a movement, doesn't need to be 5-6 steps, but a slight movement in towards a ball to go through. I think a lot of times those balls are going to stick in their glove and not get past them.
So back comes Rachel Roop, 1 for 2 so far today. Has an RBI and a run scored as well. Both of those coming back in the second inning. That 4-run second for KC. Behind here early 0-1. And this time takes it off the plate inside, evens it up back at 1-1.
This is a situation, though, that we talked about with Halogen, is being able to stay consistent regardless of the error that's going on or an out that's being made. She's going to stay the same no matter what. With a runner on first, if she gets a ground ball, there is potential for a double play here.
Comes back inside, driven up the middle, off the glove of Edwards into center, and then gets past Kramer in center. So that will allow the 2 runners to move up. Nearly was a great play from Edwards, and instead it ends up being runners on second and third now after that one up the middle from Roop.
Yeah, that was a great effort by Edwards. This ball was hit hard up the middle, and you can see her tracking not too far away, but because she was shaded up the middle, that's the only reason she was able to get a ball on it, but it's out in center field. Kramer just coming up too early.
Lauren Lucas Thornhill.
I think Rise here just coming together. They're talking, and the whole point of this timeout right here is being able to make sure that you're on the same page. A couple of errors throughout the game committed. Can we reset? Can we get back to our team, our defense, the way we play.
And how important is it to kind of have a short memory, right, in these situations, right? You have to sort of flush whatever's happened so far in this inning, focus on making the next play.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, can you be ready for the next play? And it requires having more of a neutral mindset. So easy as a player sometimes to go negative and to place the blame on yourself, on others. But if you're able to stick to neutral, stick to the facts, okay? Facts right now are runners on second and third, and we have less than 2 outs. Facts are we need to hold them, and we need to get an out. So I think that's the best strategy for Rise is that timeout right there. It gives them a little bit of a breather to be able to reset and be prepared for this bottom half of the lineup.
We see the infield here coming in. They want to prevent this lead from getting any bigger, so they're hoping for another ground ball that Halogen has been able to induce, it seems like, since she's come in and prevent the runners from advancing. 1-0 here to Lauren Lucas Thornhill. And that one in there for a called strike. Lucas Thornhill didn't quite agree with it, but back to 1-1 here. She reached and scored back in the second, and then reached on an error in the third. The 1-1 is in the dirt. So 2-1 for Lucas Thornhill, with Hastings on deck as the number 9 hitter.
Especially here in the top of the 5th. If you're able to stifle this momentum that KC Diamonds are getting past, I feel like that's a sigh of relief. You feel like, okay, we're past that 5th inning. That feels really dangerous right now, especially in this situation. Runners on second and third, no outs.
And especially right after you get some good momentum going on the offensive side. Right now, of course, on the other side, defensively, you want to hold KC, put up a 0 on the board and keep this lead where it is.
That's where that neutral mindset comes in, is don't think about the situation for what it is. Think about one pitch at a time. Think about this play right here.
Fouled off again down the left-hand side, so a good battle here between Halogen and Lucas Thornhill. Lucas Thornhill, a 3-time Scholar All-America during her time at Wichita State.
Right now, she's already had 2 RBIs on the night. Gonna get a little bit more, but not if Rise has anything to say about it.
This one just misses off the outside edge, and Halogen really wanted that pitch there. And again, has to focus because it's a big pitch coming up here, a full count.
Yeah, I think Thornhill got a little lucky on that one. That was a great pitch on that corner, a river pitch. That's exactly where you want to put that 2-2.
Here's the payoff pitch. And strike 3, good pitch from Halogen, getting the first out of this inning.
See,
felt like a big out there.
The emotion from her coming out. Again, as mentioned, it is a big situation, and to be able to get your first out with a strikeout, you don't allow the runners the opportunity to move forward. This is clutch, and this is what she's been doing. She doesn't get too high, too low. She's just been very consistent ever since she's come into relief.
That brings up Hastings in the 9-hole. 1 for 2 so far in this one, and another good pitch from Halogen to get ahead here, 0-1. Hastings, as we said, really dangerous in that 9-hole, hitting .354 coming into this one. Such a weapon to have in that double leadoff kind of role there. And swings through this one as well, so a good job getting ahead, 0-2. And another strikeout here would be huge for Halogen. Looking to strand those 2 runners out there on second and third. The 0-2 on the way. It gets away from the catcher, and a run comes home. So unfortunate the miss from Halogen, and couldn't be corralled by Hassler. That allows Skaggs to come home from third.
It's on that screwball. We saw that earlier. As a catcher, if you're not able to get that body around it, and that pitch was going outside, it was that screwball, but if you're not able to get around it, you have to make sure that your glove is there in time, and just a little late from Aldridge.
Yeah, very similar situation to the one that the Rise scored on earlier, with a screwball eluding Aldridge. Kind of a similar play. This one is fouled, just getting a piece to stay alive here is Hastings. Keeps the count at 1-2 here.
Rise still pinched in. There is still a runner over at third. So with this lead, you do not want to surrender anything else. Trying to keep those runs to a minimum.
And a good pitch, another strikeout from Halligan. So back-to-back Ks, and she's doing her best to try to get out of this inning, limiting the damage. The dangerous Kylie Aldridge coming up here.
I think it's safe to say that she's found herself in a rhythm, in a groove. She came in back in the third, had one strikeout, hadn't seen one since, and then now back-to-back.
Here, this one misses against Aldridge.
A little bit of a smile from Halligan. She wanted that pitch, especially against a hitter that dangerous. If you're able to scrape that bottom half of the strike zone and get away with it, you want that all day long.
Here's the 1-0, and that one misses away. So Aldridge getting ahead here with a 2-0 count. 2 outs, runner on third.
This is still a pitcher that hitter that I'm gonna be very careful pitching to. I don't want to give her anything over the plate. Just the way that she's been seeing the ball.
That one comes inside, gets the strike call. So a big pitch there would have been 3-0 if that call went the other way, but now a chance for Halligan battling back here. Here comes the 2-1. And she induces the grounder to second. A close play at first, and on the slide, Aldridge beats the throw. So a great play by Corona to even have a chance. And great hustle instead from Aldridge to get down the line and beat it out, allowing the run to score.
It's a really good read over there, but diving into that bag. If you're gonna go, you wanna go early. That was a late dive, late slide by Aldridge. And that knee just looks like it hit up against that first base. And smiles from her as she's coming in, but uncomfortable. And that's not something that you wanna see from your catcher, especially with her knees, as that's very important to her position. So looks like they're gonna go for a pinch runner.
So they'll get a new runner in there for her, and I hope again that those smiles tell you that she's okay and she'll be sticking it in this one. But now a chance for McMillan coming up to the dish. And this one just misses low. So a 1-0 count here to McMillan, who reached in the second and made outs in the first and fourth. Runner goes, and a stolen base there, so good job by Hastings to take advantage and use her speed to get down there. Hastings on the season was 4-5, so now make it 5 for 6 swiping bags this year. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but there is some good speed in this KC lineup. A lot of their lineup has a couple stolen bases this season. It's something they've used to their advantage at times.
One thing though, Halligan, she's done a good job being able to handle McMillan. Keep her as that 2-hole. Oftentimes you'll see them just get something through the infield, being able to get that leadoff around and to score, move them over, minimizing that. That is huge. And in this situation, if you can get this third out with her, that would be big. It's a great pitch on that lower half again. She's doing a good job this inning, finding that lower half of the zone and being able to stay there and pepper that pitch.
Really good pitch against McMillan. Again, came into this one second in the league with 23 hits this season. Has a runner out there in scoring position. 2 outs, 2-2 count. The pitch from Halligan is off the plate away, so full count coming here.
Also don't want to surrender this at bat because waiting on deck is Riley Blampede, who had that solo home run, but has that power. You do not want her stepping up with 2 runners on base.
Fans trying to get behind Halligan here. The payoff pitch and misses in the dirt, so a walk. And now a little bit dangerous there with Hastings coming far off the bag and almost getting picked off going back to second. And that would have been a real tragedy for KC, as you said, because Blampede is about to come up with 2 runners on.
I like the fact that Hassler went after her and noticed a couple pitches ago that Hastings was taking big leads almost recklessly. Especially whenever you get your home run hitter up to the plate on a walk, you don't want to be thrown out over at second base.
2 runners on here for Blampede, who had that big homer earlier in the game, and a nice 2 for 3 days so far with a double and the big fly. Her 8th of the season. She came in with 18 RBIs to her name, and it looks like we're going to have a new runner coming in over at first. So big at-bat coming up here and getting some extra speed out there just in case Blampede can find a gap somewhere and have a chance to put a couple more runs on the board here. Already 2 so far in this inning for KC.
Yeah, whenever you look at the score, if KC Diamonds are able to get 2 more runs, they put the run rule into effect. And if you're Rise, you do not want that to happen. I think that's why we're going to see a pitching change as well. Just, again, try and keep these hitters off balance, keep them guessing. But if you're KC Diamonds, you're going to try and find a way to get a ball into a gap.
And I think, you know, for the Rise, right, have to be happy with Halligan coming in. Thought she gave them some good innings, a couple of strikeouts, seemed confident, was really attacking the hitters and kind of made her effective in her outing so far today.
Yeah, what makes a pitcher effective is going with your strengths. And for her, it was bottom half of the zone. It was getting hitters to be out in front. Whenever we got to see the Diamonds make that adjustment, that's where they found success and they weren't chasing that low pitch as much. Unfortunately, just a few miscues, and I feel like kind of spoiled the outing that she had. But coming into relief with Madison Knight, I think is a good call because, again, you're in a situation where this game could be over very quickly if you surrender 2 more runs.
So Knight making another appearance here. She comes in with 5 2/3 innings pitched so far this season, and again a 2-way player. As we told you, we've seen her already at bat in this game today, but a bit of a different look for this Rise team with Knight coming in here in the circle.
Yeah, different look that we've seen so far. She works east and west, so you're going to see a lot of curveball, a lot of screwball. She can work in all 4 directions, so she can go to drop ball, she can go to rise ball, but her main pitches, her strike pitches, her strikeout pitches, they're going to be that curveball and that screwball. She's going to throw in the mid-60s, so somewhere in between what these KC Diamond hitters have seen so far today.
So a tough task, right, to come in and have to face a very dangerous hitter with 2 runners on base, but that is what Knight will have to work against here. Blampede coming up to the dish with runners on first and second. And again, trying to get the Rise out of this inning with 2 outs and limit the damage here. 2 runs already in the inning so far for KC.
Blampede is a situation where it's a new pitcher, hasn't been able to see her. You don't want to be too aggressive. You want to be patient and see what she has, but you don't want to let too many pitches go by.
First pitch is on the outside edge, but just misses. So 1-0 the count here to Blampede. hitting .373 this season entering tonight. And here, this one is popped up on the infield. A chance for Edwards coming in at short, and a big out to get for the Rise. So nice job coming in by Knight. Gets that final out, and that'll bring the Rise back up, trailing 9-3 here on the All Women's Sports Network. Back with the 4, 5, 6 hitters here for the Rise. Bottom of the 5th, Carly Spade will lead off here, trailing 9-3, and running out of at-bats shortly to get back in this ball game. Ricard on the mound, misses inside for ball 1.
It's a great job by Knight for the Rise, coming into relief and getting them out of a very precarious situation. Riley Blampy, 2 runners on. That's all they needed to put themselves into a run rule situation to get her to pop up on the second pitch. That's huge. Like you said, running out of bats, but they found a way to buy themselves another inning of at-bats and continue on and just chip away at that lead.
The 1-1 is on the outside corner, so Spade now finds herself in the 1-2 count. Flew out to right and then struck out in the 3rd. Here comes the pitch from Ricard. And for Ricard, right, I guess kind of similar to what we're expecting from Knight. Not going to blow you away with the power, but instead going to rely more on some of that spin and deception.
Yeah, very crafty and more of a placement. I think of Ricard as an IQ pitcher. She knows what her pitches do. She knows the best positions to be able to throw in what counts.
And goes upstairs and gets the strikeout against Spade. So good start to the inning there for Ricard. And I guess, you know, there's that saying that you can't teach experience, and she has so much of that experience. A 4-year starter at BU, throwing a ton of innings, and as you said, probably, you know, has been in every situation you could imagine in developing that high IQ that she's got in the circle. As Kramer fouls back the first pitch here. 1 for 2 on the day for the Rise center fielder. Had a double and scored a run back in the 2nd. Trying to get the rally started here in the bottom of the 5th.
Again, it goes back to that neutral mindset, not trying to look at the scoreboard and go, oh, it's 9-3. It's looking at this one pitch and saying, can I compete this at pitch? Can I compete this at bat? A lot of times whenever situations get too big is whenever you look at the game in its entirety, the best athletes are able to zone in and hone in on what's going on, being present in front of them.
1-1 on the way. And this one is driven out to right, and almost a great catch by Root, but it's off for a glove, and a chance to go into second with a double, hard hit double from Kramer.
It's a beautiful swing on that ball by Kramer. I won't lie, I held my breath for a second, thought she might get robbed, but I just think the way this ball was hit, the power, the speed, the velocity off the barrel, that is what saves her and tips it off the glove of Roop over in right field. Great effort, but the way that she's able to turn on that inside pitch.
And back up comes Knight, who's got a couple of walks in this one, scored a run back in the fourth.
Then came into relief.
Yeah.
She does it all.
Just playing at third base. Here she drives this one down the line. Just doesn't quite have enough legs on it as it's caught on the warning track by Hastings. And so nearly a 2-run shot for Knight.
Well, safe to say, I feel like Rise all game long with the pitchers, their game plans have been on it. They just have not been able to get those key hits to drop. 2 back-to-back hard hits off of Ricard.
And so in steps Travel Piece for her first at-bat of the day. Coming into this 7-hole, which we saw Corona and then Halogen in. Here comes the 0-1. And that one misses, 1-1 count. Flexible player in the infield or the outfield, Travel Piece out of USF after starting her career at Michigan State. Former Gatorade State Player of the Year in Pennsylvania at Hazleton High School. Here fouls this one off near the Rise dugout. Looking to extend this inning, a runner on second and 2 outs. And Rhodey on deck, who hit that 2-run shot earlier in the 4th inning.
Travel Piece has already been peppered tight in on the hand, so she's able to get those hands out in front, get that extension. It's a good hold there. She's going to find herself with a swing similar to what we saw earlier from Kramer in the way that she was able to get her hands out, especially for these lefties, which we see a lot of in the Rise lineup.
2-2 count, 2 outs here. The lefty Travel Piece and took that one off the hand. So another hit batsman for this Rise team. And that again is going to now bring up Rhodey with 2 runners on, a player that already has a 2-run bomb in this game. And they're hoping that she has a little more of that magic left in her bat here.
That's where you go as a hitter, just trusting your game plan, knowing you probably aren't going to get the same pitch as your home run last at bat. What is your next play? And I think for her, she's going to be expecting everything away, everything outside. She, unlike the lefties, she's going to have to wait on that ball, let it get deep before she gets to extension.
Yeah, if she really took advantage of that inside pitch for the home run, and so I guess that's kind of now what you're going to expect, right? A steady diet of stuff away, and see how she responds to that.
I think that's what some of this conversation is about, not just with her, but with this battery as well for the Diamonds, being aware and knowing who's up at the plate.
Here comes the 1-0 from Ricard, and again, that one staying away and missing off the plate once again. So a good hitter's count here at 2-0, and I guess, you know, now as a pitcher, right, you have to sort of decide if I need to throw a strike, am I going to have to come back inside, or we'll see if she tries to nibble it again on the outside. And does challenge her inside, but just missing off the plate, so 3-0 the count now.
What do you think in that conversation? Very much how Rise has been approaching Pylon. This is how they're going to be approaching Rhodey. We're going to nibble around the plate. We're not going to give anything over the heart because she'll be ready for it if so.
And this one does catch the outer half, so brings the count here to 3-1. And it'll be interesting to see if they decide to challenge her back inside and see if they can jam her on the hands. That one caught more of the middle of the plate and fouled back, so brings it to a full count here with 2 outs and a big chance for Rhodey to try to get New York back into this game.
That's where Rhodey, that patience comes into play. As eager as you are, you don't see too many pitches over the middle of the plate. As eager as you are, can you wait, be patient, drive something opposite side of the field, even if it is over the middle?
Where will Ricard go with this one? Payoff pitch on the way. Comes high and tight and misses for ball 4. So the bases are now loaded for Santos, the number 9 hitter.
Santos, 2 fly balls, but her last at bat just ripped one deep to outfield, almost hit that warning track, put a big swing on it. Hasn't faced Ricard yet.
So it's going to be Kaylee Pond coming in to hit in that 9 hole. The outfielder out of Arizona State. Looking for her first RBIs on the season with a chance with 3 runners out there, and takes the first pitch away. Always think it's got to be tough to come off the bench cold in a big situation like this. But that's what these players are built for. Again, Wisely looks at that one off the plate, so a good hitter's count here for her at 2-0.
That's why you have to stay ready. If you are somebody who could be called on to pinch hit in a situation, you are asking your teammates, hey, what's going on? What are you seeing? What are the adjustments that need to be made? Because if you're not asking those questions, whenever you do get called upon with a bases loaded situation, you want to be ready for it. And you want to be able to go, hey, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm prepared. And even though this is a newer pitcher, I've had a whole lineup to be able to go through, and I know what I'm going to be getting.
And that's obviously a lot of the mental side, but are there physical things too? Like, are they trying to stay warm? Are they taking a lot of swings? How do you kind of approach that when you're coming off the bench?
Yeah, whenever you're coming off the bench, especially in those later innings, you're not quite as warm, like you said, from warm-ups early on. But that goes to, in the dugout, being able to run down and back in between innings. Being able to, more than anything, just keep yourself moving. You don't want to be stagnant for too long. Even if you don't know if you are coming in to hit, I would just, if you're a player, that's how you stay engaged. As you're moving around. You're not just sitting and just kind of staring lifelessly at the field.
The 2-0 pitch misses upstairs, and so now Ricard is in a hole here, 3-0, and nowhere to put Pond here with the bases loaded. So you have to feel like she's got to challenge her with a strike here. Good chance for Pond to square something up. 3-0 is on the inside corner. Good pitch to make it 3-1.
Where this is a situation where you have to trust your defense. Talked about as a pitcher, sometimes it's easy to feel like you have to do it all. Trust your defense here. Allow them to work for you.
3-1 pitch looks very similar to the 3-0 and catches the inner half. Brings it to a full count here. Big payoff pitch on the way. Again, challenges are inside, and this time just off the plate, so Pond works the walk, and that will bring home the run, 9-4, and gets them back to the top of the order with Talon Edwards coming up to the dish.
Look at how this bottom half of the lineup for the Rise has just consistently been productive. Every time that the bottom half of the lineup has come up, they have scored at least 1 run.
Edwards so far, 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Had a single back in the 4th. Hit that ball well. And see what she can do here in a clutch situation with the bases loaded. Takes this one up and away, and it seems like perhaps Ricard missing up a little bit now the last few batters.
Yeah, she's been struggling to find that release point on that up pitch, but if I'm her, I'm going with that curveball low and inside. That's the one where she's found most of her strikes. I'm going there early, and she goes to that pitch right there to go for the 1-1, but I really want to go there first pitch and nail that so I can put these hitters on the defensive as a pitcher.
Tough pitch running inside right on the left-hander's hands.
Not if you're expecting it. If I'm Talon Edwards, that's what I'm sitting.
Here she drives this one out towards shallow right field. A call off from Roop. She comes in to make the catch and end what was looking like a promising inning for the Rise, so they'll have to settle for the 1 run. It's 9-4 after 5 here in Hempstead. Third baseman Haley Kripe to lead off this top of the 6th inning here for KC. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored so far in this one. Fouls it off down the right side. Not enough room for New York to chase that one down. So 0-1 is the count. Knight staying in to pitch after getting that huge out against Blampede with runners on to end the 5th and keep KC from adding on to their advantage. The 0-1 from Knight is fouled down the left side now. So she's gotten ahead here against Kripe.
One thing that Knight does really well, she works at east to west, but the way that she delivers, her body doesn't give away too much. You won't see a dramatic lean or a dramatic close off of her body for a curveball. So as a hitter, especially because she doesn't have a backswing, whenever she's coming, it's right at you. So even if it's not 70 miles an hour, it feels like it's getting on you quick, because from the time of her starting her windup to the pitch coming across the plate, it's much shorter than most pitchers you see.
Here comes the 0-2 and challenges her, gets the strikeout. So gets the number 4 hitter on the K, and that'll bring up Pylon, who, as we've been talking about all night, one of the hottest hitters in the league right now. 2 doubles already in this game with a pair of runs, and they finally figured her out in the 4th, got her to ground out to short. So Knight will work against the left-hander here. And pitching her cautiously to start with that one away and off the plate. 1-0 the count now to Pylon. Made a great play at shortstop as well in this game, chasing one down into foul territory. And here Knight challenges her and brings it back to 1-1.
That was one that misses middle over the plate, and I'm surprised Pylon, just being a little too patient, takes that one. Middle in, that's something that she has, we've seen her multiple times already this game, drive that pitch hard.
Again, they go back to the outside, looking to nibble on the corner just off the plate. So 2-1 the count now to Pylon. And the pitch. And that one misses, making it 3-1 here. Again, Pylon, not the kind of player that you can try to go for a get-me-over pitch here in this count.
She chased after one of those borderline pitches, got herself to ground out, so we're seeing that patience this at bat.
And Knight comes back inside again and does bring it to a full count here on the strike call. So
haven't seen her see 5 pitches, much less see 5 pitches and not take the bat off her shoulder.
Different looking at bat so far for Pylon. Here comes the 3-2 from Knight. Got it inside enough on the hands. All she could do was foul it off down the right side.
Pylon did not want a hit by pitch. That was coming right for the shoulder. Instead, she fouls it off. Seen a lot up and in, tight on the hands from both teams, both sides. I think it's a credit to the hitters, knowing that if you're able to get in on those hands right underneath those fingers, it's a really hard place for those barrels to get extended.
Another 3-2 on the way, and this one off the plate away, so patient at bat from Pylon, able to work the walk, and that'll bring up Allie Skaggs.
See a little bit of frustration there from Knight. She wanted that pitch, but I agree. That pitch was just tailing too far away, lost that corner plate. A little bit too early, that movement broke away.
Skaggs hit one hard to second base back in the 5th, ended up scoring a run as well. And here fouls this one hard down the left-hand side. I'm always impressed when you see in the notes for these players, you know, starting every game of the last 3 years of their collegiate career. I mean, there's, you know, that's a skill set to have, that you can come ready to play every day. It must be nice for, you know, the coach, one of the first names I'm sure on the list on the lineup card every day, and can always count on Skaggs to be ready to play.
Tells you that there's leadership there. There is this competitive nature that you know she's going to go in and she's going to compete. She's going to find a way.
And I'm sure sometimes, right, you're playing through things. You're going through a long college season. You're going to get some nicks along the way, but still show up every day and come out there ready to play. Knight getting ahead 0-2 here. Skaggs was a little bit early on that one, pulling it just to the left of that third base bag.
We've seen 2 that have been low in a way that she has pulled. The very first one, she hit it into her own dugout. A couple of her teammates had to have quick, hot feet to try and avoid the foul ball. But even with Knight trying to go away, trying to get her out in front, just a really good job of staying in this at-bat, battling from Skaggs.
.02 coming up here from Knight. And trying to go back outside, and again, just off the plate. So a couple of times these last 2 at-bats now, she's missed just off the plate away, looking to get a strikeout.
It's a really great pitch in this situation, though. A 3-2, you don't have as much wiggle room. An 0-2, you want to see, will she bite? Will she nibble on that pitch?
Going back out there again, but again, good patience from Skaggs. Doesn't get caught fishing for it.
Also feel like she's setting herself up for that inside pitch as well. Skaggs has been seeing everything away.
Here comes the 2-2. And there she does decide to attack inside, just as you said. A little bit of a setup with those pitches away earlier in the at-bat, and a good job there by Skaggs to fight it off.
And that's where that IQ, that gamesmanship comes in for pitchers, because now Knight, she can go back in a little bit tighter, or she can go away with that off speed. As a hitter, you have to make a decision and guess one or the other.
Let's see what Knight goes with here. Coming back inside and blows it past Skaggs. So 2 strikeouts in the inning now for Knight. And Roop will come up here with 2 outs, looking to extend the inning here for KC.
Right fielder, number 15, Rachel Roop.
And there's that deception of being able to make that hitter guess. I felt like Skaggs, she was expecting that low and away, and her swing was set up for it. She wasn't expecting anything hard and up.
This one dipping low and away outside the zone. So Roop takes it for the 1-0 count. A couple of singles, a couple of runs scored so far in the game for Roop. The off speed on the outside corner gets the strike call.
Knight just going at these hitters. You feel like even her misses, they're intentional. They set themselves up for the very next one.
The 1-1 comes back inside and forces Roop to check her swing there, but that'll keep it at 2-1. As that one missed a little bit high and tight. And that one just missing as well, so 3-1. Good hitters count here for Roop. Hitting .326 entering tonight. 5 RBIs to her credit coming into this one as well. And here grounds this one towards Edwards, and bit of a miscue, and they're going to say safe at second. So the flip to the second baseman, it was all a little bit of trouble for Edwards on the initial bobble, and then that just kind of sped everything up, and then a bit of a bobble on the flip as well.
Yeah, Corona not having 100% control of that ball. That's why that was called safe instead of out. Even though she had the ball in her glove, it wasn't complete possession that she had. And again, it's just waiting just half a second too long, not crashing in, being aggressive on those balls. These middles get kneed up on these ground balls.
And once the bobble happened, the timing, right, everything going to the bag, everything was a little bit off from there. And another situation for the Rise where it could have been out of this inning, and now instead a chance for a 2-out hit here for Lucas Thornhill. One count with Knight again looking to get out of trouble just as she did last inning. And this one instead is driven out to left field. One hops the wall. 1 run is in, maybe a second run coming around. They are waving her home, and there will not be a play at the plate. So Roop is in standing on a nice piece of hitting from Lauren Lucas Thornhill.
It's a great job by Lauren Lucas Thornhill, just being able to drive this inside pitch inside out. Seen it time and time again from these lefties on the KC Diamond team. They're just able to, even if they are jammed, get that back wrist out, snap it out, and get some extension on it. In this outfield, they were playing a little shallow, hadn't seen too much pop and power from her, so they were expecting something. If anything, they didn't want anything to drop in front of them, but got burned just a little bit too much.
And so now another chance for Hastings at the dish. 1 for 3 so far in this one. And the first pitch misses 1-0 here from Knight.
This is where, if you're KC Diamonds, you have been on the cusp of a run roll since the 3rd, 4th inning, and you haven't been able to close it and capitalize. You have a runner in scoring position, need to find a way to get that clutch hit. They've been finding hits all throughout the game, but not enough that hit, if she's able to get it through the infield, get a run to score, that would be enough for them.
And a good hitters count here, 2-0. And make it 3-0 as Knight misses away here off the plate to Hastings.
And if you're Rise, you do have the luxury of having 2 outs. So if anything's hit to you, if anything's up in the air, you can go for it. You don't have to worry about a runner tagging up or advancing.
3-0 from Knight is on the outside edge. Called strike there. Impressive to see what KC has been able to do offensively. They've got runs in every inning but the first. So they've been a threat every time up. And here's ball 4 off the plate away. So runners on first and second for the leadoff top of the order, Kylie Aldridge coming up.
And it's been Aldridge and Pylon who I felt have posed the biggest threats power-wise in this KC lineup. So being able to have the opportunity again to get an at-bat. She's taking off her catcher's legs, 2 outs. She was waiting on deck trying to see, okay, am I going to have to run in, finish putting on my gear, or do I do I get it off really quick? But with that, just keeping yourself in the moment, pitch to pitch, finding a way to stay neutral, not thinking about the situation.
Aldridge had that RBI single back in the 5th. That included her sliding head first into first base. Oh, and 1 with Knight getting ahead early here. 2 runners on, 2 outs. And this one is hit right back to the circle. Easy catch, step, and throw, and Knight able to get out of the jam and help limit the damage done. 11-4 the lead for KC. Bottom of the 6th up next here on the All Women Sports Network. Amanda Hassler leading things off here, bottom of the 6th. Hit by pitch in each of her last 2 at-bats, so I assume she's looking for anything but that. Puts a good swing on it down to third base, but a nice stop at third and a throw out. So Hassler unlucky there in the first out of the inning after just 1 pitch.
This was an absolute rocket. That was a great snag over at third by Kripe. You see her playing off the line about 3 or 4 feet. She was expecting something ripped into that 5-6. I don't know if she was expecting it that hard, but that was good piece of defensive fielding.
So a nice play by Kripe, and now another first pitch swing, and almost a mirror image of what we just saw with Kripe making the stop and firing on to first for the second out of the inning.
If I'm Kripe, I am not moving from that 5-6 back a little bit. That hit, she was like, all right, I'll give him a couple of steps. But she's able to snag that one easily. 2 quick outs here for Ricard.
I'm sure that's just what KC was hoping for. As Carly Spade now steps to the dish. And she will not make it 3 pitches in the inning, so she takes that one.
That would have been great. If you're Ricard, you're going, yeah, let's go. Less pitches for me.
Spade still looking for her first hit of the ball game. And here makes contact right towards that KC dugout.
Keep your head on a swivel. That dugout's seen a lot of action the last 2 innings.
Challenged her inside, and she got her hands out there and just yanked it foul towards that KC dugout. 1-1 pitch on the way here from Ricard. This one in the dirt, so good eye there from Spade. Kramer would be the next hitter. She's waiting on deck if Spade can extend the inning here. Pitch from Ricard on the outside part of the plate, and she shoots it through the hole on that right side. Good base knock for Carly Spade.
And it's been that outside half that she's had trouble. 2 strikeouts on the day, and they've come from that outside pitch that have been low and away, and she just has been underneath it, not able to get that barrel in contact. So a little bit of smile from her as she is able to get over to first safely.
So that does bring up Kramer to the dish. Product out of Arkansas. Sees this one off the plate away for ball 1. CSC Academic All-America selection as a 3-year starter in left field for the Razorbacks. She's got a keen eye, one of 2 players in program history with 30 or more walks in 3 straight years.
That's a keen eye right there. An off speed that is tough to lay off of. I often say, I make it sound easy up here, like don't swing at this, swing at this, here's the game plan, but I don't even know if I were down there, if I could have laid off that pitch.
2-0 on the way, and that one off the plate as well, 3-0. I mean, I guess the question is, does the broadcasting give you the itch to want to be back out there?
Sometimes, whenever we go down pregame, talk to the players, talk to the coaches, I'm like, pass by the batter's box, I'm like, maybe I could step back in. Who knows?
A familiar place, obviously.
Near and dear to my heart.
That one in there for a strike from Ricard. 3-1 the count. See if Kramer gets something to drive here. And good job by Ricard coming back inside and getting the strike call on the inside corner.
So nice job by Aldridge getting that pitch for her pitcher. It may have leaked a little bit too far inside, but Aldridge, she held that frame. Also brought it back inside just half an inch to get the call.
3-2 pitches fouled off down the left-hand side, so the at-bat will continue here for Kramer.
What it looked like potentially a 3-pitch inning has really extended. A long at-bat by Spade, and now Kramer battling with her 3-2.
Another payoff pitch on the way here from Ricard. Check swing down to third base, and all 3 outs coming from Kripe with another put out there over to first. That will end the 6th, 11-4, the lead for the Rise. Top of the 7th here in Hempstead.
All right,
KC
thank
with
you,
the
fans,
11-4
and
lead,
thank
and
you, Allie.
it looks like Knight will be back out there again for another inning of work, and she's done well so far, gotten out of a couple of jams for this New York team, and looking to obviously hold KC and prevent this lead from getting any bigger here in their last AB
Center
possibly
fielder
of the
number
evening.
2, Corey McMillan.
She got 2 quick outs, 2 strikeouts last inning, so looking to pick up where she left off at the beginning of that, and it's a good start. First pitch strike. I feel like whenever we've seen a few Rise pitchers throughout this game, whenever we've seen them go first pitch strike, they have seen a lot of success. They have kept these KC Diamond hitters on their toes.
Again, probably another thing that sounds simple, but just starting and staying ahead of the hitters, right, in the counts. I mean, that's got to be a huge part of a pitcher's success out there.
Pitching 101, but it really does come down to mindset. Are you attacking as a pitcher, or are you just looking at the pitches and throwing?
1-1 on the way is fouled off down the left side. Good contact there from McMillan. Still looking for her first hit of the game, 0 for 2 with a walk for the number 2 hitter in the KC lineup.
Seen a lot of at-bats so far for KC Diamonds. This is now their 5th time through the lineup. 11 hits, 11 runs. Talk about efficient.
This one is off the plate away, so 2-2 the count to McMillan.
Seeing a lot of traffic on the bases. 7 runners left on base by KC Diamonds. 9 left on base by New York Rise.
Looks like 7 different players in this KC lineup with runs scored as well, so shows you they've been getting some contributions up and down the lineup, but here a good high pitch by Knight gets the strikeout, 1 away here at the top of the 7th.
First baseman,
That's
number
exactly
26,
how you want to
Riley
start off the
Gladney.
top of the 7th. A little bit of a punch thrown by Knight, and I feel like she has done such a good job ever since she came into relief. A huge moment where could have gone one way or another. Bases loaded. Hitter who's already had a home run, and just then she has just been cold as ice as she faces her again.
Yeah, second time around now facing Blampede, and she, of course, if you missed it earlier in the game, back in the 4th inning, hit a bomb for this KC team, and very dangerous hitter up there.
See Blampede call time. She just needs to catch her breath. A little bit of out of breath after that swing. Doesn't need to talk to coach, but that's where, as a hitter, you know, okay, I need that extra time to slow down my breathing, slow down my heart rate, so I can make great decisions at the plate.
Knight misses low. Count even again at 1-1 with 1 down here in the 7th. A double and a home run in the game already for Blampede. Fouls this one again. That dugout area for KC getting a lot of action.
Somebody get them a rebound screen so it just goes right back to the hitter. That'll teach them. It's like whenever you hit a ball off your foot, instant feedback, right?
So another big pitch here against Blampede for Knight. Looking to get her again. The 1-2 on the way. This one is sent out to center, but it looks like this one will stay in the park. And it is caught there by Kramer out in center.
Second one that we've seen Blampede just a little out in front, and that's what we've talked about with Knight is can she be able to just get these hitters to miss swing? Blampede is right on this pitch. She knows what she's hunting for. She's just out in front. Catches it on the end of the barrel. Great job by Knight. 2 up, 2 down.
And so that will bring Haley Kripe up to the dish, or check that. Looks like we're gonna have a pinch hitter. And Eva Cusack coming in. First pitch is in there
Now
for a
batting number
strike
7,
from
Haley
Knight.
Cusack.
Cusack, a 3-time All Big Ten selection and 3-time All Region selection, split between Nebraska and Wisconsin. Played a lot of shortstop during her time at Nebraska.
What can we say? She's a big Midwest girl. She was like, you know, I have a lot of red. Might as well keep it. Keep that cherry red. No, but defensively, a stellar athlete. Offensively, she has that power too.
Driven hard out to center and in and out of the glove of Kramer. Trying to stretch it to 2, and she does. So great base running as well from Cusack, and that one was an absolute rope off the bat.
We were just talking about the power that she has in Cusack. I mean, she just absolutely knocks this one. Hard hit, line drive.
Shortstop, number 16, Presley
And then
Pylon.
aggressive base running.
And just carried maybe a little more than Kramer was able to corral with that outstretched arm.
Yeah, if you're Kramer, you got to keep a hold of that one. That one should be out number 3.
And again, Knight starting off ahead. Another 0-1 count here with a good pitch on the outside. Chance with a runner in scoring position for Pylon. 2 doubles and a walk already in this one, and drives this one foul down the left side.
Quickly gets ahead, 0-2. Love that response from her. Potentially could have been out number 3. An error, so easy sometimes to just get scattered and dwell on it, but with one of the best hitters in this lineup up, she has not been afraid and has gone right at her, 0-2. Say I'm loving the way that Knight has been attacking this game.
Another chance here, working ahead, looking for the put-away pitch, and gets Pylon to pop down the left side, and just between a couple of converging white shirts there, it falls into foul territory, and that keeps Pylon alive in this at-bat.
A lot of range. Third, left, short, and like you said, all of them converging all at once. A little lucky it landed in no man's land.
Fans getting behind Knight here again. Another 0-2 pitch on the way with 2 down here in the 7th. The pitch driven back up the middle, gets past Edwards. A chance for Cusack coming home. She will score and extend the lead to 12-4 on the RBI base knock from maybe the hottest hitter in the league, Presley Pylon.
Second baseman, number 99, Allie Skaggs.
This pitch just gets left over the middle of the plate, and it's elevated, and you can't do that against a hitter who is so hot. And being able to keep her hands high, even though she's out in front, just her barrel control all game long. We've seen her hit inside, outside, off speed. She can do it all.
Taking that pitch right back through the middle. And Knight again starting off with a strike, getting ahead against Skaggs here. A lot of good work with 2 outs, though, from this KC lineup throughout the night. A couple of times where maybe the innings could have been put away, and KC found a way to still get some damage done. Another good pitch, 0-2 here against Skaggs.
It's what it takes to be a tough team, a gritty team. You just won't go away. You won't lay down.
That one misses away, but a good pitch, made sure it was well off the plate. Only something that she would have to chase to make it out there. One and 2 on the way here from Knight. And this one bounces. Good stop by the catcher. Keeps the runner over at first base. Hassler's done a nice job behind the dish tonight.
Good effort by Hassler, not just stopping it, but getting out of her block really quickly, getting to that ball so Pylon's not able to advance.
2-2, and just getting enough of that one to stay alive was Skaggs. Defensive swing with 2 strikes, whatever it takes to extend the at-bat.
Find a way, but one thing that we've seen from Skaggs is she finds a way to make her at-bats very long. Whether she gets on or not, all game long, she's had long at-bats, a lot of foul balls.
Another 2-2 on the way, and Knight looked like she was looking at her grip after that pitch that clearly got away from her. And goes back to the rosin bag here. 3-2 count.
A lot of dampness in the air, rained pretty good for several hours earlier. Just can kind of feel it in the air, especially as it's now almost 11 p.m.
This one is hit hard but foul down the left-hand side.
I think one other factor too is there's been a lot of foul balls, there's been a lot of home runs. With that, you start to get to that bottom of the bucket where those balls are not quite as broken in, a little bit new, and whenever you have that slick new ball, it's hard to feel like you can really spin it and grip it as a pitcher.
Another 3-2 on the way, and Knight gets the job done. Gets the strikeout of Skaggs, and that will bring New York back to the dish for their last licks here, trailing 12-4 here at Hempstead.
Top of the 7th, the Diamond.
Final at bat here for New York, trailing at 12-4. Alongside Nicole Mendez, I'm Tom Brady. Thanks so much for joining us all night long. Madison Knight leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th. And here drives this one deep down, but foul, and really put a good swing on that one, did Knight.
Not happy with it, though. She wanted that one to be fair. Can't say I don't blame her. She's been fun to watch on both sides. Came in to relief, bases loaded, absolute clutch. Got her team out of a jam and offensively doing pretty well.
That
2
one
walks.
in there for a strike. But yeah, some good at-bats, doing it in the circle as well.
Had a hard hit her last at bat all the way out to left field, right on that warning track too.
Off speed is taken down low. 2-2 now the count. How do you feel about the no batting gloves?
You know, I wore batting gloves my entire career until I went pro, and I just decided I just didn't wear batting gloves anymore. So I can't hate on it too much.
Takes this one off the plate away, brings it to a full count here.
Although I'd be nervous with the dampness in the air. One hard swing, and that bat may go flying out of my hands. Kind of see Knight just wiping her hands on her pants, trying to keep them dry, get that grip.
Here's the 3-2. Chops this one down to the left side, and interesting to see Kripe leave that one for Pylon, who comes in running and makes the throw to first for the first out.
I think that there is communication, and that's a great job by Kripe, being able to back off. She hears Pylon call for it, backs off, able to make an easy play for the shortstop. Not only does she has range in the outfield, has range on those slow pitches.
And this one is fouled down the right side here from Travel Piece, making her second at-bat of the evening.
First time had a hit by pitch and on the hands. Seen a few of those. I won't lie, this is just the type of pitcher I was, but if you're gonna have somebody that gets hit, I wanna go back to that location, not necessarily hit them, but be tight and on the hands, make them work for it.
Another foul down the right side here, so steady diet on the inside half. Travel Piece was stranded at third in that inning when it just felt like the Rise needed a big hit to bring in some of those runs and try to tighten things up back in the fifth. Here's the 0-2. And that one is upstairs. 1-2 now here for Travel Piece. Takes this one upstairs as well, so 2-2 the count as she works her way back to even here.
Good battle here by Travel Piece, not trying to do too much in this at-bat. Trying to zone it down. Already knows that Ricard, she struggles with keeping that ball down in the zone.
Comes high and tight, challenges her inside again, and this time gets the swinging strike, so a strikeout there for Ricard, and that has New York down to their final out here with Ariana Rodi coming back up.
Number 16, Ariana Rodi.
Just going at these hitters for Rise here in the bottom of the seventh. She does not want to waste any time. This game has been a long one, almost at 3 hours.
Really nice game at the dish so far for Rodi with a home run and 2 walks. Again, challenging the hitter high and tight, but this time Rodi able to lay off. Count back to 1-1 here. Had that big 2-run homer back in the fourth. This one is up and away. Ricard didn't have the handle there on it. Back to 2-1.
Well, Rodi, she's so explosive with her swing. Doesn't look like there's a lot of movement going on preload, even whenever that foot gets down. But as soon as she pulls that trigger and decides to swing, it goes through the zone so quick.
Again, this one gets in on the hand, so good work from Ricard, challenging these hitters inside and making sure to get it inside enough to jam them up.
That's the important piece, is allowing your pitch, your spin, to be able to get tight. Saw her hit a couple of batters early on, and the fact that she's not afraid to go back there, I think it's a really good spot for her to be in.
Down to the final strike here for New York, and this one just off the plate, despite the efforts of the catcher on the frame there.
Aldridge was doing her best to get that one for her pitcher.
Full count on the way here to Rhodey. Here's the pitch from Ricard. Inside again, sends this one high down the left field line. It will stay in play, and it cannot be corralled there by Hastings, so a second life now for Rhodey at the dish.
That's something that you don't want to surrender with a 3-2, 2 out, but also who you have up to the plate. This game right now could be over. Rhodey gets new life, and again, she puts that barrel through the zone so quickly. So if there's something that's left over the plate, could be out of here in a hurry.
3-2 on the way again, and this one is outside, so a walk issued here to Rhodey. And that will extend the game here for New York, who are down to their last strike. And it was Pond hitting in this spot last time around. And it's back to Brianna Santos at the dish here. Santos sends this one back to shortstop. Pylon, the throw on to first, and that is how this game is going to end. KC takes this one, the home opener for the Rise, by the final score of 12-4, and a game that KC offense was just a little bit more clinical than the Rise offense. They left some batters out there, did the Rise, and also, of course, as we said, it maybe extended a couple of innings with the defense where could have gotten their pitchers out, and all that added up to this victory here tonight for KC.
Yeah, overall, it was a well-rounded game by KC. They found ways to get things done, and one of the things you talked about is their toughness with 2 outs. I think that was the difference between these two teams today. Both sides, they had some well squared up balls that they hit. The pitchers did a pretty good job, but it was timely 2-out hits, and then it was clean defense.
So even on a night where maybe Val Despino didn't have her best stuff, KC still finds a way to get it done. But again, a great crowd here on hand for the Rise in their home opener. That is going to do it for us here from Hempstead. For everyone here involved and my color commentator, Nicole Mendez, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, don't miss tomorrow night's game. It is a 7 p.m. start here again at Bill Edwards Stadium against KC, so you can see the Rise in action right here on the All Women's Sports Network, or, of course, down here at the stadium. Well, we hope to see you again this season, and for now, I'm Tom Verdi. Thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.